And a very warm welcome to you all, wherever you are in the world, to Lockdown SK, the interactive self-isolation talk show, broadcasting to you live from our micro streaming studio here on the beautiful island of Corfu in not so sunny, but normally is, Greece. And should there be an interruption to our broadcast today, please log on to our website, which is www.StudioKerkyra.com, or the video platform that is Vimeo.com, or indeed good old YouTube, where you will see this broadcast in superb quality HD. And to help bring this live digital broadcast to wherever you are across the internet in the world, I'm very lucky to have the assistance and all the hard work from our producer Claire Haas, who will be endeavouring to answer all your comments on Facebook Live Messenger and taking those live Skype calls. And of course, no broadcast would be complete without the other half of the dynamic duo, which is of course Mr. Thomas Haas. Hello Thomas, how are you?
Hi everybody, hello Adrian, nice to see you guys. Thanks for logging on, thanks for coming back, joining us here at Lockdown episode 35.
We've lost count.
I think so,
yeah. Yes, it's probably about 35.
Right.
It feels about that.
It feels about right, doesn't it? But thanks guys for logging on, thanks for joining. I got a lot of messages in again, so if you guys want to join us here at the show live, you can comment now while we on air, and I'm gonna do my best to say everything, to read all the comments, and we can chat a little bit about. But we got a full show again, and we got a fantastic live call today from Mr. Alex Preston, author and broadcaster from the United Kingdom, and we're really thrilled to have him today on the show. It's great.
And most importantly of all, he's got great associations with this wonderful island of Corfu. He was part of the triage that are behind the Corfu Literary Festival, the others, of course, being the wonderful Annabelle and Nicole Louvros. Alex Preston and team were here last year producing the second annual Corfu Literary Festival, which was held on this beautiful town of Corfu town and around the area for last year in September. We don't sure whether it's going to happen this year. More about that later. Alex Preston is an author and broadcaster in his own right, writing for many monthly magazines and other such, and has even appeared on BBC Radio 4's Book at Bedtime, where he read his own story. What an honour and a privilege that must have been. Anyway, we'll talk to Alex a bit more, but the other reason why we're very keen to talk to him is that, would you believe, Alex Preston is a survivor, and we're very pleased to hear that, survivor of wretched, horrible COVID-19. So more about that anon, but before we speak to Alex live, we're just going to contact a few of our lovely viewers and listeners, aren't we, Thomas? I think
definitely. Let me say hello quickly to a lot of people. Thanks for joining, thanks for logging in, guys. Nemes Laszlo is watching, Jackie Cherry is watching, Richard Onslow is watching. Hello Richard, I'm missing pictures of you, so start please posting your pictures again, they are fabulous. And here, Jackie Cherry, hi from a cloudy and windy Corfu. It is cloudy today and windy.
Jackie,
it's
not
totally.
wrong there.
But hey, and Margaret Black is watching, coming in and saying, hi Claire, Thomas and Adrian. Hope all is well with you. A warm and sunny day here in Durham. Lockdown still has me climbing the walls. So difficult when living alone. My twice weekly online Zoom meetings with dear friends in St. George South keeps me going. So stay safe. Oh, that's great. Having online meetings. Yes. That's something with the coffee. What is linear coffee? The Zoom
virtual
coffee meeting.
Virtual coffee and tea cakes. Don't get me on the subject.
Great.
But St. George's South, as you probably know, regular viewers to StudioKerkyra, it's a fantastic coastal resort designed for the family and singles, anybody in fact. Wonderful stretch of coastline, just further on down the coastline from where we are at Halicunas, actually, St. George South. Thank you, Margaret, for joining. Can I say a thank you and a good afternoon to our lovely viewer, Melita, and thank you, Melita, for teaching me about the gun salutes. Apparently, it's 21 guns for a head of state, another 20, if they are performed in a royal park. But it's less than that for the Queen's birthday. And actually, I can't remember what Melita said now. That's bad, isn't it? Oh, dear. See, she's teaching me on the one hand, and then I go and forget. Actually, it's normally a 41 gun salute.
41, that's what she said.
Yes.
Great.
And can I also say hello with warm affection to a lovely lady called Tara O'Rourke, who joins us from Dublin. She's liked our cheerful voices, Thomas, which is always nice to hear. But Tara, you made a good point. You said you were remembering and lamenting last year's special Easter in Corfu town. And yes, I'm sure a lot of people have done the same. It wasn't the same this year. How could it be? You weren't here for one thing, and all your friends and loved ones either. But under lockdown and COVID-19, it really wasn't possible to do justice, and no one celebrates Easter in the whole of Greece quite like the wonderful Corfians do. So maybe, Tara, next year we'll have an extra special Easter just for you and all your friends and all the other wonderful listeners and viewers from around the world, should they come to Corfu. And I hope they do.
Definitely, and let me say hello to Pat Thomas. Everybody, hi everyone from sunny Plymouth. Hi Pat, thanks for joining. Margaret Johnson is joining. He's saying hello everybody. Hi Margaret. She's asking you a question. Adrian, I'm wondering if your friend is still here with you. His name I think was Jamie.
Yes, that's Dimitri.
Yes, Dimitri. His dad would give him Sibero. Not a shot, no? And he would down it in one. Lol. So it's still happening.
Margaret, funny you should mention that. You know, I've been trying to keep that quiet, actually. You've got a very good memory, and yes, absolutely, hands up. Yes, he used to enter into a competition, I think, with Status's father, who's a wonderful gentleman, the husband of that fabulous cook, the mother who does such wonderful dishes. Yes, they used to have a little bit of Sipero at the end of a tarring day, I do believe. But Dimitri is still here, and he is part of the crew. Yes.
Yes, and let me carry on saying hello. Yanis Flachos is watching. Great
Hi,
musician.
Yanis.
Hi, Janos. Brilliant. Clary Bolantki is watching. Hi, Clary. Thanks for watching. Nikos Louvros is watching. Hi, Nikos.
Nicole.
And Annabelle.
Hi,
Great
Annabelle.
to see you. Tom Fleming is watching.
Hi,
Giannis
Tom.
is watching. Steve Powers is watching. Oh, my God. Margaret Black
Steve.
is watching. Yes. Yes, Linear Cafe, she was laughing. Yes,
Yes.
that's it. Christopher Dabana is watching. Guys, thank you so much. Hello from Ios Mateos, from Giannis. Hi, Giannis. Thanks for watching. So, Ios Mateos, beautiful village, not far away from us here. It's great,
we
man.
kinda know that one,
Thanks,
don't we?
guys, for tuning in. And Nikos is asking, how about a heated debate? I know you are
we're
for
gonna
it,
have
but
one,
we're going
don't
to
worry,
have you.
Nico. We'll have
And
a
we're
few.
going to get you live in again when we have that one. No, there is a lot of things happening. So, and Rolf is writing
Hi,
in
Rolf.
Yasu, guys from Guvia. Use
Brilliant.
this rainy day for baking bread. I done that already, man. It works. It's fine. I like it. If I don't like it, I don't know. But yes, we do a lot of things. Thanks, guys, for commenting. Thanks for logging on and sending us so beautiful messages. That's great. Keep them coming. But I think we're gonna go into our fantastic hole in a minute.
Yes, I wonder what Chris is baking today. Last week it was flapjacks. Before that it was fruit shortbreads, I wonder. Maybe you could tell us, Chris, what you're doing there. And it's always good to be baking, especially under lockdown, isn't it? I know Thomas has been very hard at work baking when he hasn't been producing this show and lots of other things. But it's always great to hear from all of you wonderful people, wherever you are. We really do like to hear from you and what your way of thinking is. And yes, indeed, we do hope to have some debates and lively discussions here. Lockdown SK, all in due course.
Okay, and I think we're gonna start with our phone
Marvelous.
call to
Alex Preston.
Alex Preston. Let's see.
Great. Hello. The man himself. Hello. Good afternoon, Alex.
Hi, hello, Alex. Can you hear us?
I'm not hearing you brilliantly. Hold on.
Yes. Can you hear any better now?
Hello.
Hello. We are here. We had a test call earlier on and it worked fine. We seem to have a bit of
Let's
a...
see what's... Okay. Hi, Alex. Can you hear us?
Hello, Alex. Have you got us yet?
Can you hear us?
No.
Would you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? We had this call.
Okay, we try again.
It was perfect. We'll try again, yeah.
Is that better?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us, sir?
Can you hear us, Alex?
Hello?
Hello, Alex. Can you hear us?
I don't think he can, Thomas.
Hello.
Hello. Alex, can you hear us?
Hello, hello.
No.
Hello, Alex.
No,
Okay.
I'm really sorry.
We're very sorry too, but we had this call working perfectly about half an hour ago, would you believe? Those gremlins are back in the system. Thomas is desperately trying to reconnect with Alex Preston there, who'll be speaking, hopefully, live from England, UK.
Okay, now we have to have a look. We're gonna try again, of course, and see if we can get it all in. Shame, we had him earlier so nicely on there.
Perfect,
Everything was
wasn't it?
fine. It was great. And now, sadly, I have no idea.
Okay, Thomas. Well, we'll try again in a bit, maybe. In the meantime, we'll progress with the show, and
Of course, I'm
hopefully
gonna contact him now, and then
Yeah.
I talk with him a little bit. So sorry, guys, this happens, but okay, we are live. Things happen when we are live, and we're gonna go and
Absolutely.
gonna fix that. But we got other news, of course. We got a couple of things we wanted to talk, and one of the things were about going on to the flights here in the tourist season here in
Yes,
Corfu,
yes,
or in Greece generally.
Well, yes, you had read something from the, I do believe, the Greek tourism minister. Before you say that, Thomas, I, and along with a load of others, no doubt, in their inbox today in email, had an email from EasyJet, and I was surprised to see that all the holidays they were trying to advertise and entice were all for next year, 2021. There were spring breaks, summer holidays, and even winter 2021. No mention of anything happening in 2020. Now, I didn't click the book now. Maybe some of our eagle-eyed viewers and listeners might have done so, and perhaps you could get back to me and let me know what is the earliest date that EasyJet are accepting flight bookings for holidays, especially for Corfu. I honestly don't know the answer.
What the only thing I was reading about was that he wants to open the season for July,
Right.
July, August.
Does it?
Yeah, so 3 months, June maybe, but July was July, August, so September, and maybe running it longer into October. And what do they need is a health certificate.
Oh, yes.
So,
right.
as an example, in there, they said if somebody arrives from Germany, yeah, they have to do the tests and everything in Germany, and then get the
Right.
documentation, and then they can fly to Greece. So
Okay.
that's all what he let out. So for that, they're planning to have July, August definitely open for tourism. So that's the last what came out. How far that's true now, how far they can enforce that, I have honestly, I have no idea.
No, that's as so far. There's nothing's written in stone there. That's obviously their intention. The point you've just raised, Thomas, is something that you mentioned a few times on Lockdown SK, which is this idea of a health passport to prove that you're not carrying COVID-19. You make the point that if you were flying, for instance, from Germany to Corfu, you would take the test in Germany. But as you said only the other day, what's to stop you from mingling between the time you take the test and getting on the aeroplane?
Yeah, this is another thing. But when I read that through, developing of a test, no, they want a health passport. Totally right on that one. But that should be done with reliable tests. So he's talking there's reliable COVID tests. I mean, we don't even have reliable COVID tests now.
Well,
so
that's,
how is that working?
That's an extremely good point. Thank you for reminding me, Thomas. I read a story today in the newspapers that claimed there were, I think, a staggering number of 50,000 UK tests that have been done for COVID-19 on NHS workers, and these tests are not reliable. They're not true.
Not at all.
No, so that's horrifying, isn't it? Absolutely
Totally
terrifying.
horrifying. So, but you know what? Let's try Alex Preston
again. Oh, absolutely.
once more
Yes.
again quickly.
Fingers crossed. We're sending good waves.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Alex.
Finally.
Welcome aboard. Welcome to Lockdown SK, Alex. Sorry about the gremlins before.
Well, I think it's in some ways the kind of characteristic experience of this unusual time of our lives, which is that we're all learning how reliant we are on technology, and yeah, this is not the first time that I've had that I've had an eagerness to speak with somebody that was unfortunately interrupted by the technology not quite being there.
Well, I'm glad we can oblige. No, do apologise. Alex, I was explaining to our good viewers and listeners of your connection with the beautiful island of Corfu. I don't think I actually explained that you are a recovering survivor of COVID-19. Would you care to share your experiences of this thing with us?
Yeah, well, there is still a little tickle in the throat, so I apologise if I cough. But I mean, I haven't had a test, so I obviously it is only theoretical that I'm a survivor. But I think if a disease is going round and you're not usually sick, and I had 22 days in bed with a fairly violent cough and actually really quite scary to start off with. I woke up in the middle of the night 3 weeks ago with just a feeling of sort of a bar across my chest, and staggered to the bathroom, and the next thing I knew, the lights were on and my wife was looking down at me with a degree of concern, and I got up and immediately passed out again. So it's been really nasty, but I'm out the other side. And I've just signed up.
Brilliant.
Donate my plasma to the NHS, which is something they're looking for.
Yes, yeah. I was reading yesterday that they're hoping to get some sort of treatment, and I wouldn't say cure, but it's a treatment from the plasma of recovered COVID-19 people.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's very noble of you, and that's a very good thing that's going on, a good initiative. Alex, how did it you having this dreadful illness? How did it affect your family and the people around you?
Well, interestingly, so we're not quite sure who got it first. So I work quite a bit up in London on various projects, and one of the ones I was involved in, pretty much everyone in the team I work with contracted it, and so I sort of think that that's maybe where I picked it up. But also, my son was the first one to come down with a cough, and seemed to have it really very mildly. My daughter almost not at all. And then in ascending age, my wife, who is 3 days younger than me, didn't seem to have it anywhere near as badly as I did. So I was the one who was really floored with it.
Okay. Well, it's great to see you looking so healthy and fit after that dreadful ordeal, and thank you very much indeed for coming back on the programme, Alex. It's very brave of you.
Well, I said in a tweet earlier that this summer was all about going to Greece for me, and the fact that I can't be there physically, it's nice to keep these lines of communication open.
Absolutely, and we will do our best to bring all the wonderful Corfu vibe your way. We said the same thing to Annabelle and Nikos and Anthony McGowan, who we spoke to a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, I saw that, and Anthony's a dear friend, and of course Annabelle and Nikos are just miraculous. They are.
They certainly are.
Yeah, I mean they're the reason. I love Corfu for all sorts of reasons, but they are number one. The island is beautiful and has an extraordinary history and wonderful landscape. But the best thing about it is its people, and they are the best. Yeah,
they are, aren't they, Alex? I'm glad we all agree on that one. We think that Corfu is a special island with special energies here. I honestly believe that myself. Just one quick question finally on the COVID-19 before we talk about something else. What would you say to all the doubting Thomases out there who simply refuse to accept that COVID-19 or coronavirus pandemic exists? What would you say to them?
Are there really that many out? I mean, what I would say is, we are living in an era of conspiracy theories, and whether it's that the disease itself doesn't exist or whether it's spread by mobile phone masts, it's it's that sometimes life is so complex and baffling that it becomes easier to believe things that are patently untrue than it is to believe the truth. And I think that's maybe the case here, that, of course it exists, and of course it isn't spread by mobile phones.
Great. Good answer. The reason I ask you that question, Alex, is because, funnily enough, before we came on air today, I had a knock on my door, and there was a jolly Australian who came round on a completely different matter, but he just happened to let out that he was one of these doubting Thomases. So naturally, I've invited him onto the programme, and he can phone in, and we can argue the toss at another time. So that's why I kind of wanted to ask you that question. But of course, we met you last year on the fantastic second in all year's event of the Corfu Literary Festival, where you were busy talking and interviewing lots of wonderful authors and stuff, and playing a bit of cricket. How was it for you in September last year? Did you enjoy it?
I mean, it was magical. It has become part of our lives. So that was, I came for the first time 3 years ago with the Lord's Taverners to play cricket and do a little bit of literary chatting at that point. Then came back the next year for the inaugural one, and then last year for the second. And we still hold hopes. I'm not sure quite how strong those hopes are that we'll get out there for the end of the summer this year. And certainly if it doesn't happen this year, it suddenly feels like an enormous loss from all of our lives. That it is both the literary festival and the cricket are like nothing else on this planet, I think.
I'm sure there'll be millions that would agree with you on that one. It's a great combination, isn't it? Literature and cricket. There is something special perhaps about it, isn't there?
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's I think it's not a coincidence that cricket is really the only sport that is written about regularly in what we might call literature.
Yes, indeed. And of course, you're a leading light, amongst many others, of the Authors 11. What's it like to be both a player and an umpire, which I believe you have been on occasions? Does that cause you a problem or two?
It causes me huge problems. I'm the world's worst umpire. I'm hugely swayed by but I can't even ride out a hard frown. No, I'm not stern enough to be an umpire, I'm afraid. I do it because it's the right thing to do. But yes, it's really not one of my core skills.
That's a very honest answer. No, you're coming across as a very nice man, Alex, and I'm sure you are. So, yes, I can understand your thing. But what I was looking at in the history books is the Authors 11 goes back to 1895, I think, and they were playing in 1903 with such illustrious names. I mean, Arthur Conan Doyle, P.G. Wodehouse, A.A. Milne, and J.M. Barrie, to name a few. That's quite a long, illustrious list to follow in the footsteps of, isn't it?
It's wonderful, and there was a lovely moment when we went and played at Dulwich College, where P.G. Wodehouse is on the honours board of the cricket pavilion, and to play a game there against the publishers, whom we beat, and to play it with one of our own, there on the board when we came in for tea. It was really lovely.
How fantastic. And are you busy writing a new novel at the moment, or what project are you working on at the moment?
I've got a novel which is finished. I'm just doing a couple of final edits, and that will be out early next year. I'm currently working on a short story about the coronavirus that I think might be the first story to be by someone suffering from the coronavirus. I wrote it I dictated it to myself late at night when I was really in the kind of fever dream, and so I'm not sure quite how much sense it makes, but it's a novelty if nothing else.
Absolutely, that sounds fascinating and extremely interesting. And please let us know how you get on, Alex, because we'd like to return to this subject in due course. That would be great. Good for you for doing that, by the way. No, that's marvellous. So, Alex, obviously we all hope that we can put on the Corfu Literary Festival this year. Annabelle told us the other day that she was still really hopeful and sending out positive vibes, but I guess we have to be pragmatic and realistic. And as you say, if it doesn't happen this year, we'll have to make it extra special next year.
If anyone can do it, Annabelle can.
Absolutely. Well said, well said, Alex. Thank you so much on behalf of all at SK for joining Lockdown SK. It's been a pure pleasure and delight and very intriguing to talk to you. Thank you very much, Alex.
Lovely, and hopefully see you in Corfu.
Absolutely, so do we. Now, you take care and continue to get well soon. Well, better
Thank
than
you
you
very
are
much.
now.
Okay. Cheerio. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got there in the end. Gremlins disappeared. Thomas waved his magic wand, and we got the wonderful Alex Preston there, all the way from London. Well, Kent, actually, I think he is. Not actually in London, but he had to go to London, as you heard him say. What an interesting conversation, Thomas, there, from his perspective.
Oh, great. Fantastic seeing him, being so well now. It was really worrying for all of us because, we know him and we saw him last year at work, and I was very impressed. I enjoyed every interview he's taking, all the introductions he was giving. He's a fantastic speaker.
Yes.
And when you sit there, every time he started, for me, it's just, I could listen to him for hours. It's great. So thank you very much for doing that, for talking with us live here, Alex, and all the best to you and your family from lovely Corfu.
Absolutely. His good luck wife, Rachel, and the children there. I hope you continue to keep well and enjoy life as much as you can under the dreadful lockdown. But perhaps Alex is able to put that to good use, and it's always wonderful that a positive can come from such a negative thing. So that's very encouraging to hear that Alex is working on a new book, ostensibly about COVID-19. And from a sufferer's point of view, that must be very interesting indeed.
Definitely, and I got much more messages in. I mean, Melita was writing in, so pleased you are out the other side, Alex. Stay safe. So that's a message for you, Alex. The same is going for Nikos Louvros is saying the same. So guys, that's brilliant. They're sending you all lots of love. But while you guys were chatting, there were more and more coming in. Bold Hugh is watching, is saying, hey, great. Alex, are you receiving? Over. He said, it's a fantastic thing.
Good one, Paul.
Army Speller, Army.
Hi, Elta.
Hello, Elta. He has got Army is watching. Good evening from Finland. Here is a very sunny evening. Hope there too. We a little bit cloudy and a little bit rainy, but it's okay. You know what? It's 20 degrees, 21 I saw earlier, so it's not that cold. It's warm.
It's about 14 now, I think. But it's always beautiful in Corfu. It's always lovely here, Army. Whatever the weather, it doesn't matter. I'm glad you've got some sunshine.
Sunshine
That's
there,
great.
yeah.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy this sunshine over there. No, much more. Jacqueline Connor is writing in. Well done, Chris. You are a shining star.
Ooh,
that's great. And she said, yes, it is sure. I lived on Corfu for several years, and it's amazing.
We agree with you.
Totally agree with you, Jacqueline. It's a special place, and we say this so many times.
We do.
That word special, but you know what? Everybody special. Everywhere you go, you hear that. This is beautiful.
But it's true.
And it's true. That's the
true
beauty.
in Corfu, believe us. But you have to, don't take our word for it. As we always say, come here when you can after lockdown and COVID-19 disappears. Then come back or come to this island for the first time, and you will see what we're going on about.
Yeah, and Jacqueline is saying it's fabulous to sit on the list and watching a cricket match. Yes, it is, and this is where the buck, as Austrian, the buck bit me there, and I can't wait for the cricket season to start. Seriously, I started to get into the whole thing, and I have to learn a lot.
Yes.
Yeah? I mean, I have never held a bat in the whole of my life or anything like that. No. But it just got to me. It's a great game, you know. People underrate it.
There's something about it.
There's something about it, definitely. So I'm with you there, Jacqueline, and I'm looking forward to a cricket season.
We were going to be bringing one, sort of a cricket season this year with the good old Steve Ford, who was going to commentate all the technicalities of cricket, because I'm afraid I don't know them. But unfortunately, we can't at the moment. And the Hellenic Cricket Federation is actually based here on the island of Corfu. We were lucky to meet the president a few weeks back before lockdown started. And he was telling us that we could be expecting to look forward to something like 20 matches this season, but I don't think so at the moment. But rest assured, cricket will be played again here on this magical island of Corfu, possibly mostly now, Jacqueline, at the Gouvier Marina, where the proper cricket match is. The Spinada unfortunately lost some of its size to a car park. It's still there, and we did broadcast a wonderful Sunday afternoon game last year during the Corfu Literary Festival, which was against between the Authors 11, which we've just heard about there in that wonderful conversation with Alex Preston, and a local Corfu side. I think the end result was a draw. So it's probably just as well.
Yeah, must be. Yes, I think it was. You're totally right. But hey, I'm getting other messages in it here from David Roseman while we were talking about the flights into Greece now. Why he wants to open the season, the tourist minister here in Greece. And David Roseman come in and said, I read yesterday, Brussels is discussing an EU membership country's health document. Not sure where this will leave the UK after the 31st of December.
No.
So, that's a good question. That's a good one, David.
Great, David. Thank you for drawing that to our attention. That's another reason to put on your list of fors and against Brexit, although it's probably too late for that now. We all have strong views, no doubt, on Brexit. We try to be as impartial as we possibly can here at StudioKerkyra. Having said that, we would be chomping at the bit to have a live debate on Brexit or any other subject. We are planning on a programme or two down that line. So should you have any suggestions for topics of heated debates and discussions, we're more than willing to receive them and to do a said broadcast. Brexit would be one of many contentious issues, I dare say.
Definitely, and I'm just working around here because one of the cameras just gone. But I think I'm back.
Are you back on screen?
Yeah, I'm back. Yes,
back.
Yeah, I am.
There
Hello.
we go. Yes, and your hair's looking good today,
It is okay.
as always.
I'm going between headphones and thing at the moment, but it's okay. You know, technically we can cope with that. We're long enough in the industry. We know how it works. In the live show, anything can work.
Oh, it does
happen.
It
when
does.
you are live,
Yes,
and that's the interesting thing. That's
makes
what
it
drives
exciting.
us.
Oh, absolutely. It's the adrenaline rush. There's nothing
definitely.
like being live, ladies and gentlemen. And as we say here, live is life, because that's exactly what it is. And you probably read in your newspapers or books, live stream is a big thing. It's only been around this century, so it is purely a 21st century phenomena.
Definitely. I started my first commercial podcasting company in full live streaming in 2009.
2009.
And in 2009, I registered the first, and were the first commercial online TV station in the United Kingdom with that. And it was great. And since then we developed. But you know what? Being here in Corfu, the possibilities are endless. Let me go on. There is so much messages coming in that I just want to go. Jason Capodistrias is watching. Hi Jason. It's Amadeus, the grill house up there. Then Margaret Black is answering here and says, thanks Margaret. EasyJet selling flights online from 18th of May from Gatwick to Corfu.
Oh.
Don't understand the logic.
No.
So
Really?
see, there's conflicting. It's still conflicting news
Thank you
coming.
for telling us that, Margaret.
The other Nikos replied to that one and says Corfu Island has become cuckoo land for those that believe that there is going to be tourism from middle of August. UK, France, Spain, Italy are all saying that there is not going any holidays until Christmas. The vaccine is going to be tested as from tomorrow. We got that one too, yeah. But it will still take at least 6 months of testing and another 6 months for mass vaccination. The earliest will be in 10 months. Next season in Corfu is going to be 2021. So, and I think he's not totally wrong with that one.
No, he's absolutely right with the time period, because all scientists and medical experts have been warning right from the very beginning, back in January, that vaccinations take a long process. Up to 18 months is normal. You can't cut corners. I know, some people are rushing to get these vaccines out. There's a lot of work going on all around the world. The point that Thomas was referring to just there was the UK one from Oxford University and the Professor Sarah Gilbert, who we've mentioned many a time and oft on Lockdown SK. I read this morning that she's 80% sure that this vaccine that her and her team have been working on will be effective against COVID-19. And as you've just heard, human trials will be commencing in the next few days. But there is going to be a time lag before that vaccine, if it works, is going to be widely available. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. But they start, okay, from tomorrow on they start testing. Thanks God, there is something. But as you said, it's 80% sure. So nobody
That was
can,
her figures.
Yeah, so nobody can. And I think it's quite a high estimate from her.
Yes,
to be honest,
really.
So
it gives you
it's
hope.
good.
If
It gives
true,
you hope.
yes,
and if
I would
it's
agree.
like that, would be great.
Yes,
but there
of
were
course.
another thing coming out about taking part in the European sourcing with the EU.
Well, yes, that's an ongoing story that's blown up.
Blown up now completely. I think we even got some email sent
Yes, we
regarding
did.
that. I mean, he doesn't want to be mentioned.
No.
But I think we can read that one out
Absolutely.
too.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, how I'm always saying, and if you want to be Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, drop us an email at inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. Well, would you believe someone's taken us up on the option and has sent an anonymous email in, which I'm about to read out shortly, which talks exactly about this subject we're talking about. What we're actually talking about is, back in January, the EU launched a scheme to get ready for this pandemic. 4 types of schemes. There was a scheme for ventilators, a scheme for laboratory equipment and tests, and there was a scheme for other PPE equipment, personal protective equipment. They had a meeting and made the agreement, I think, on the 27th of January, and would you believe the UK were leaving on the 31st and did not participate in that. They have been, according to the EU today, the UK were invited many times to take part in this scheme. I think off the top of my head, it was the first scheme of a few, totaling about 500 million euros. The UK declined for whatever reason, and they've just missed the last deadline, which I think was the 15th of April. They could get back on board again, but it doesn't look as if they will. A lady from Westminster suggested this morning that the reason it didn't happen was, she quoted as saying, a communication error. Apparently some email got lost. But as a viewer that's written an anonymous email suggests, it's downright clearly a political move.
Yeah. I mean, and is what the email we received with the thing in there that was, okay, I think I got it. Here,
You've
let
got
me
the
switch
email,
over
Thomas, yes.
to that one quickly, and then I can hand you.
It's called, what we're talking about is something called the Joint Procurement Agreement.
Yeah.
And basically, what I'm reading here is what I've just said out to you. They've been invited and they have not taken the invitation up. And this is for PPE, ventilators and test kits, all of which are in short supply right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll
okay,
read
and
out
I got this thing. This is the email. We got emails in. So we said this. If you guys want to comment, you can do it now live. You can send us a message after the show. If you want to say something, want to tell us something, you can always write to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com, and that's how we receive the email. But he doesn't want to be mentioned by name. But that's his opinion. That's his feeling. And I think this is great. Share this with us so we can discuss it.
So here it goes. He says, or she says this. So it turns out that UK Permanent Undersecretary Sir Simon MacDonald confirmed that the British government were offered access to EU schemes that would have provided vitally important ventilators to treat critically ill COVID-19 patients. While he later retracted his statement, he had said very clearly that their refusal was politically motivated. There is no other explanation for their decision and timing. It is because of their determination to pursue Brexit at any cost. The cost, of course, is that together with their utter contempt for life and the safety of the public, the lives of thousands. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you still support this government now, and of the sourcing ventilators from sources that are not EU-based for nationalistic, pro-Brexit, anti-EU reasons, then you are implicated in the criminal negligence that the Conservative government is so clearly guilty of. And that's me holding back from what I would really like to say to people I can only describe as being right-wing imbeciles at best.
Wow, I mean,
those weren't my words. They were the anonymous words of a viewer, and I should point out there's 4 exclamation marks at the end of the last word.
I mean, and there do you see, I mean, this is the opinions, this is the stuff you have inside, and let that out, and that's a perfect way of doing that instead of sitting at home and getting frustrated and angry. You know, it's not a thing. Let it out. Send us an email, inbox@StudioKerkyra.com, and to the person who sent us that over, thank you very much for sharing that with us. And
Absolutely.
You know what? And I think there's gonna be a lot of people agreeing with him there.
Well, as funny as one word missing from all of that, and with Brexit as well, collaboration. There is no collaboration, as I see it, and there should be. And if ever the world needs collaboration with all interested parties, it's right now fighting the coronavirus pandemic. We need to all come together, and it's unbelievable to me that there are lots of people around the world who simply still don't buy the coronavirus pandemic argument. But as you've heard from Alex, it exists. That's why we were so keen to talk to Alex Preston there for all sorts of Corfu-related and literary-related reasons, of course. But the other reason was that he is gone through the mill, as it were, with COVID-19, coronavirus. And it was a riposte to all the people that we are hearing, and I say all, some, there aren't that many, who simply refuse to believe the existence of this pandemic.
Yeah, definitely. And I get already comments in here, and Jackie Cherry is saying, love it. It's so true. And Melita is commenting, I think we all know who sent the email, say no more. So
Well,
it's great.
don't,
He's known on the
Melissa.
island. He's definitely known.
I've
And
no
I
idea.
think, he got a position here. And you have to be careful what you say, but that's why we here. If you can't say it, we say it for you. Don't worry about that. So let us know what your opinion is. We're gonna read it out. We make this anonymous because that's how it works. Where we just don't want to get any stress with anyone. But in the end of the day, it's still freedom of speech. And as long as we don't scare anybody, and we're not scaring anyone, and we're not spreading any panic around. We talk about the facts straight, how they are, and we're discussing solutions. So that's
Absolutely.
what it is. That's how we work together. This is how we collaborate. And we said it earlier, we're going to extend our programming now soon, make it lockdown proof and social distancing worthy.
Absolutely, yes. And we promise we'll never discuss a certain type of standard of new mobile telephone technology in the same sentence as coronavirus pandemic. It won't happen on SK, I assure you.
Definitely. More comments coming in. David Roseman is writing in, there is no room for political one-upmanship where people's lives are concerned.
Here, David.
Spot on there. No, another one just to sing. Lavini Winnie is watching. Hi Winnie,
Hi, Winnie.
nice to see you. Christopher writing in. Never mind delay on the vaccine. They cannot even get PPE to the front line.
No,
so,
well said, Chris. Exactly.
Spot on.
We've been waiting 4 days for those three, four flights from Turkey. One's arrived. You'll be very pleased to know the first RAF transport plane arrived just before we came on air at Bryce Norton with half the load, 40 tons of PPE, which I think is actually gowns.
Yeah.
200,000 gowns to my memory. There was some paperwork issues. The lady from the British government who I mentioned earlier on, who said, it's a communication error regarding the UK not joining the EU procurement scheme or arrangement. Her name was Helen Watley, and she's also the same lady that said again today, repeating what the Health Secretary Matt Hancock said a couple of days ago. She's claiming that there were 40,000 places for tests yesterday, but only 18,000 were taken up. So I don't understand that. If they are so keen to get everybody tested, and everybody who works with the NHS or any other frontline health services, or indeed all the key workers, all these workers and people who are putting their lives at risk to break lockdown for the sake of the people around them and treating patients, they very much need these tests. I know there's been a lot of problems with the accuracy of tests and sourcing chemicals and all of that. But what I don't now understand is that 2 days running, there's been a difference of numbers of tests available and the take-up of those tests. So there's about half. It's running at half rate. I don't understand why that is, Thomas. Any ideas?
No, sorry. I have at the moment no idea. Just for watching. So sorry that we interrupted the moment, but there's somebody driving past with the car and waving a gun out of his car window, Adrian.
Right,
so sorry, guys,
nice.
for
Thank
the
you
thing.
for sharing that with us. Yes, well, we'll carry on regardless. Stay calm and keep social. That's what it's all about. And he can do whatever he likes with his gun, but I'm not worrying about it. Anyway,
Okay,
so
cool.
where are we now then? What are we going to talk about next?
Okay, cool. Sorry, Steve Ford ist watching. Nicole Donnerer von Austria ist watching. Hi Nicole, schön dich zu sehen. Danke vom Einschalten. So, und liebe Grüße von der Urlaubsinsel Corfu. So, sorry man, it's going, we international, we worldwide.
I love international.
It's Nicole. Nicole is one of my oldest school friends. We went, to school together. We grown up together, and it's nice to see,
Great.
so friends from the past, and it's fantastic. And this is one thing what this lockdown, this situation did for us, has brought some people together, and maybe it done it for you too. So if that's so, please let us know, because that's so fantastic stories coming in. Another thing, I forgot that, I didn't see that, but that's from Nikos Louvros saying they trying to get this literary festival end of September, maybe beginning of October here together. Maybe we can work something out as we do it online, as we stream. Let's get something together just to lift the spirit. So,
Absolutely.
we have to still carry on working on these fantastic events.
Yes, keep calm and carry on, as they say. And don't you think that as a result of this dreadful lockdown and COVID-19 crisis, that the live streaming and platforms like Zoom video conferencing have come into their own, haven't they, Thomas? And of course, social media as well. I mustn't forget that. I mean, the ability for us all to communicate electronically and technically with our friends and loved ones around the world, or even if under lockdown, next door neighbour, it doesn't matter. You can't get out and socialise, but without this technology, lockdown would be much poorer and much harder to bear. So I think it's proved that live streaming and video technology of the sort that we're now getting used to from video conferencing and the like is coming into its own, isn't it?
Totally, and that's what the beauty with live streaming now, because of the social distancing. So many events got cancelled, so many things got cancelled. But with the solution what we have here and others do, through live streaming, we can still bring good programming, we can bring entertainment, and we can still make these events happening. So it's a whole thing now going on. We have to readjust. We getting some things thrown at us. Viable project we can do now in the future what has social distancing in mind.
Yes,
and that's why we guys, we mobile. So you got a project, you got an event where I said, I had to cancel that, but it is totally viable to do this via a live stream. Guys, talk to us, let's work together and bring some good entertainment from this beautiful island of Corfu.
We can all agree on that one, Thomas. Absolutely. Can I just give a couple of bits of news that caught my eye today? There was something out of Romania to say that in the last month, a total number of 69, I think it is, million euros have been raised in fines by over 200,000 violations of lockdown. And just to put that into perspective, 69 million euros for 1 month is the equivalent of what the government of Romania would have taken in corporate tax receipts, would you believe?
Yes, I know.
It's unbelievable.
Wow. This is a sum, isn't it?
Yeah. And the average salary, take-home wage in Romania is 600 euros. The fine is 10 times that. So that would be 3,600 euros, and you're only earning 600, and there's 200,000 of those violations.
Yeah.
That is quite staggering.
That's thing. But you know what? Why do I have to violate these rules in first place?
Well,
it's going out. You can write it on a piece of paper. You can print it and write it on the thing. Or what you can do is you text. And everybody has a mobile phone.
Most people.
So when people say, "Oh, I don't have a mobile phone," come on. Nowadays it's
smartphone. Maybe a lot of people still don't have smartphones.
Yeah, but you don't need a smartphone to text.
No,
when you have the older one, it still works. No, I mean, just follow the rules and is ignoring it. I think I'm going now, I'm getting away with that, and then all of a sudden you get caught. Makes no sense to moan afterwards. You go out without permission. You're breaking the rules. If you get stopped and fined, you knew that before. But this is with everything the same. Try how far can we push it?
Absolutely. Same old story, though, isn't it? Hey, there's a maxim going around, isn't there? For rules are there to be broken. People used to tell me that. I don't really go along with that, especially lockdown rules. They're there to keep us all safe and to stop us infecting other people who may be more susceptible to disease than us, depending on their immune system, or indeed to keep ourselves safe and away from these nasty, horrible germs that are floating around there. And just to remind everybody, this isn't normal flu, and it's not even a normal, if there's such a thing as a coronavirus. This is supercharged, turbocharged SARS. It really is. It's of the corona family, but it's COVID-19. There's a particular scientific reason for that, and the whole name starts with SARS anyway. COVID-19 is the end bit, and we're calling it, or they are calling it, coronavirus pandemic, but its correct name is COVID-19.
Exactly, and there's the one thing coming up, and I'm showing that now.
Okay, great.
While we're on air, that's an image. If you see this image, don't go and get crazy, because that's just out there. And why they didn't remove that yet, I have no idea. But it clearly says here, this is a coronavirus vaccine, but the label on top is broken. It's a K9, so that was for dogs. Is around 10 years old.
Good
and coronavirus doesn't mean this is the coronavirus from here now.
No,
not at all. Coronavirus is a general description
Yes,
for flu-like viruses.
And this is nothing
that's
like
nothing
flu.
like flu.
No.
It is more aggressive. But that happened, and people are getting, oh, they had the vaccine already. No, it's coronavirus. We're talking about COVID-19. It's something completely different.
It is, and the main difference with the effects are what it can do to your internal body organs like kidneys and liver. It's all about oxygen starvation. The body's fighting desperately to get hold of oxygen. Alex went into details, Alex Preston there in our live Skype call earlier on, went into details of how it was for him. We should make the point that not everybody is going to experience COVID-19 in the same way.
Right.
It really does depend on your personal immune system.
Yeah, and if you see this picture anywhere published, don't bother with it. It's nothing to do with the current situation, and it just makes you angry to see it. So if you see it, just report it so they're getting rid of it. Don't pay any attention to that.
No, absolutely not. And there's loads of scams and fakes going around the internet. Banks and other institutions are perennially warning them. It's a fraudster's paradise right at the moment, actually. So do take extra care and be very careful what you're buying off the internet, particularly anything to do with vaccines and COVID-19, because as we know on this program and any other program, at the moment there is no available effective vaccination for COVID-19. It simply is not in existence at the moment. But of course, they are working day and night all around the world on it, to be fair.
Yeah, and here I got more news, and that Margaret Johnston is writing in. I don't understand what's happening with the tests. 2 weeks ago, one of my daughters was not well and thought she had it and her partner, she had it and her partner works at the local hospital and had to stay home. 3 days later, my daughter was tested because her partner didn't have any symptoms. Luckily, it was negative and he could go back to work. Thank you, Margaret. That's a great one. Lavinia comes in and saying, I agree with your anonymous emailer. No, what goes in? My frontline NHS worker friends put their lives on the line daily, and they are rewarded with is applause rather than proper PPE.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a spot on. But she said, on a happier note, my neighbors just left me a bag by my front door. 12 eggs laid by their chickens today, some Easter bread, a lettuce, and a 2-liter bottle of their delicious but lethal homebrewed red wine. Thank you, Panos, and thank you, Elizabeth. I love you. So that's a great
lovely
one.
story. Good one, Vinny. Enjoy
It's great, isn't it? So
yes, that's wonderful to hear. That just goes to show we keep talking about it, and Alex Preston mentioned it as well in his talk to us. It's not just the beautiful natural landscape of the island and all the rest of the things that this island has to offer. It is actually the people. The people are fantastic here.
yeah, definitely. And here I got a thing from Steve Bowers. He's saying, your happier note, Lavinia, is what Corfu is all about.
Absolutely. Well said, Steve.
That's totally true. Well said.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what it is, isn't it? And there you see what a great community it is here on this beautiful island of Corfu.
It is indeed. And collaboration does exist, maybe not in every quarter, but it's there, and we're doing our best to encourage even more, especially now during times of lockdown. We do need to collaborate.
Yeah, definitely. And here, Lavinia said, I've known them for years, and they're the best neighbors anybody could ask for.
Oh,
so
great.
that's to you, Panos and Elizabeth. You are great neighbors. Thank you for looking after Vinny. She is brilliant.
She is indeed.
Yeah, she is on all our hearts.
She's
definitely.
a treasure of Corfu. That's Vinny, in my opinion, anyway. I mean, there's lots of you treasures out there, but we happen to personally know Lavinia. And Vinny, you're fantastic.
Nikos Lou was coming in saying, my friend in lockdown in Morocco tells me that there is a permit system like in Greece, but floating lockdown unjustifiably carries an automatic 3 months prison sentence.
Good
Ooh,
heavens.
that's Morocco.
Morocco, right? Yes, okay. Well, we'll be avoiding that off the list at the moment. No, we don't. We don't want to be violating any lockdown arrangements or anything else. Actually, why take the risk? You know, it's not the point that we keep forgetting is that by breaking lockdown regulations and trying to get one over against the system, as you may see it, actually, what you are doing is being very rude and disrespectful to all the people that are risking their lives on the front line in trying to treat people who are ill with this wretched virus. You're not doing them any favours, making their life far harder. Do you really want to do that? And when you get ill yourself, won't you want the best medical attention from the very said people? well, you won't get it because they'll all have suffered from COVID-19. We've got to do our bit as a community, our best, to help the people that are giving up the most.
The most, yeah.
They really are. And yes, it's great to clap on balconies and to show our appreciation for their efforts, but also there is a long, strong call to give them a reward, a financial reward. This is being debated at the moment, I do believe, in the Netherlands and maybe other countries across Europe, and I really do hope that the same could be said for both Greece and the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom frontline medical services, we know for a fact, have suffered tirelessly through this. We've seen the video, we've heard the calls, we know personally people within the NHS. This is not a hoax and it's not a media conspiracy. COVID-19 is real, nasty and horrible.
And it's here, yeah, and we're gonna fight that one all together, and hopefully we can, ease that all. Maybe there's really the vaccines and the tests are quicker than we all think. But this hearing different stories,
yes,
that doesn't
doesn't it?
Yes, gets confusing.
Sometimes
doesn't fill you
you
with
can't.
confidence at all, and
No.
you start saying, okay, what should I believe, what not? Just let's hang in there, be patient, and we're gonna prevail. There is no question about it. We've done it before and we can do it again. And we, as we said, we're in one of the best countries in the world.
We're very
for
lucky
it.
to be here.
We're very lucky to be here. So if you wanna talk with us live here on the show, you can call us via Skype and we can have a call here, audio or video. We can arrange that. You can send us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com or just send us a comment now live or after the show, and we're gonna get that in next day. But if I have forgotten any comments today, I really, really apologize. I'm gonna have a look through after the show and then I'll let you know, and I'm gonna adjust that by tomorrow.
Absolutely. And maybe, Thomas, we might hear from that jolly, funny Australian chappie that I met on the doorstep earlier on this afternoon, who's one of those doubting Thomases, who's a little bit unsure about the validity of the COVID-19 and the lockdown measures. So I've encouraged him greatly and profusely to phone in live, and we can argue the toss, as it were, live on Skype, maybe another day.
Another day, definitely.
And that's a shout out to a lovely, jolly, comedic Australian called Nick. Hi, what's your Nick? Good day, Nick, I should say. Sorry, mate.
So, but no, it's great. No, guys, thank you so much for calling, for writing in, for sending us emails, for commenting. It was fantastic. But sadly, again, an hour is gone.
No.
That's all we have time for today. We had a fantastic call from Alex Preston, author and broadcaster. So go on to Twitter and Facebook and look at what he does. It's great, and he's
Absolutely.
giving good advice, especially book reviews. It's great.
Yes.
I'm following now, and it's.
He writes for Harper's Bazaar, Town and Country, GQ magazine, and you heard he's penning his latest novel. The one that's already out is, I think, Do Kingfishers Catch Fire.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful book about birds, beautifully illustrated by a colleague of his. But as you heard him say in the live call here on Lockdown SK, he's busy writing a book which is actually about COVID-19. So
Great.
that's very interesting indeed, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what he said is probably the first of a COVID-19 victim. I can't call it victim.
No, well, he's survivor.
Well,
He
survivor,
survived,
exactly.
yes.
Victim, why survivor? I think what I'm talking about is okay, man. It's long. No, guys, thank you for all the messages. You are guys so great.
You're
so
wonderful.
keep them coming. Comment after the show, still send us a message by messenger or write us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. And don't forget, if you want to talk with us live here on the show, just to debate like Nikos Louvros were suggesting. Do you want a heated debate? Yes, of course we want, mate.
We'll
Why
give
you
you the
asking?
heat, don't worry about that. We won't hold back, and please,
Definitely.
neither do you. Just don't hold back. Let us have it, broadside. We can
Broadside.
take it, can't we? Eh?
Definitely. Hey, that's all for today, guys. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody. If I did, I apologize deeply for that, and I will get this into tomorrow's show. It was so much to do for me for the systems today, and a couple of things happened outside the event, so I'm gonna follow that up after the show now.
Okay.
But thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I hope we just made a little bit a brighter evening for you here afternoon. So, but stay at home, have a fantastic evening, and we're gonna see you tomorrow again at 6 p.m. here live from Corfu. Until then, have a fantastic evening and goodbye.
Absolutely, and thank you once again for your time, for watching Lockdown SK, and we will endeavour to spread the Corfu vibe to you all wherever you are. Enjoy the rest of your day, and a very good afternoon to you all.